Oi, what's happening, everybody? It's your Uncle Weezy here with another episode of Balls Deep Breakdown. We are going UFC Vegas 29 here. The fight I'm going to be breaking down for this card is the Kanako Murata versus Virna Jandiroba fight. If you are a fan of grappling, you are going to love this fight. If you are a fan of exchanges on the ground, of wrestling, of judo, of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, you're going to love this fight. If you are a fan of two handsome women, you are also going to love this fight. We got these two ladies here going at it. Virna Jandiroba, Kanako Murata, handsome, and both of them tough as nails. Both of them great grapplers, and I can't wait to get into the stats with you guys. Before we do, I want to remind you guys that I'm doing a show on Pub Sports Radio. If you haven't checked it out, check it out. Go subscribe to their channel. I'm doing it with my man DFS by the Numbers. It's called Stat Diggers. We give you an early look into the numbers of UFC Vegas 29. We do it every Sunday at 7:15 Central Time. And we get into the numbers balls deep, just like we do on these breakdowns here, of all 13 fights. Unfortunately, now it's down to 12 as we lost the Tim Means and Danny Roberts fight. However, I've still got this matchup template here for you. Now you can see the Kanako Murata Virna Jandiroba stats, but I have it for every fight on the card. If you look in the description of this video, you will find a link to this. You can download it for free. Look at all the fights on here. If you have any fights you're thinking about gambling on, all the stats are available. Hopefully it can help you make some good gambling decisions on the fights that you're planning on betting on. But if you're planning on betting on this one, I'm about to go balls deep into this one, just like we did on Stat Diggers on Sunday night, just like I also did on DFS by the Numbers channel when we did a main event breakdown of the Korean Zombie versus Dan Ige. You can find that on DFS by the Numbers YouTube channel. We went about 37 minutes into the main event and broke down every aspect of that fight. I recommend you check that one out. It was a really good video. And we're going to get started here now on Kanako Murata versus Virna Jandiroba. And we will start at the tail of the tape like we always do. And we see a compelling number right off the bat. Virna Jandiroba, 33 years old. Kanako Murata, 27. So 6 years younger for Kanako. We see Virna's got a 2-inch height advantage. She also has a 2-inch reach advantage. They are both orthodox fighters. We got Virna coming out of Academia Fight House and Kanako Murata independent. Kanako Murata fighting out of Japan, Virna out of Brazil. So if we get into the pro experience here, we see that Kanako Murata has 13 professional fights while Virna has 18. So they're both very experienced. And neither one of these ladies is used to losing very often, as Kanako Murata has 12 wins and 1 loss, and Virna has 16 wins and 2 losses in her career. Now, if we talk about pro experience as mixed martial artists, I have the numbers here. However, both of these ladies have some backgrounds prior to mixed martial arts. Kanako Murata's grandfather had a judo dojo in Japan, and she basically started practicing judo at the age of 3. She is a black belt and well-decorated judoka. However, she pulled out of judo and started freestyle wrestling in her teens, I believe, and became a Japanese champion in freestyle wrestling. So not only does she have a black belt in judo, but she also has a freestyle wrestling championship that she can hang her hat on prior to even becoming a mixed martial artist, which is a very interesting blend of the martial arts, because judo has all those great takedowns from upper body position where you can use sweeps, trips, reaps, throws, but now you mix in the other martial art of freestyle wrestling, where you get the double legs, the blast doubles, the singles, the ankle picks, all those things that you cannot do legally in a judo match. She's also able to use those techniques to get the fight to the ground, and she is very suffocating on top, very good grappler, definitely some good ground and pound. She has some chokes. She can definitely use the Von Flue choke. She's used that twice in order to get submissions in her career. But a very interesting martial artist here is Kanako Murata, as she has a very strange mix-up of skills here that allow her to be able to really get the fight to the ground where she's most comfortable in a number of different ways, and she could do them all very well. And when we look at Virna, we see that 16-2 record, a 7-year, 11-month mixed martial arts career. However, prior to that, she was a world champion Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. So this is another woman who's very highly credentialed on the ground, a lot of grappling accolades, and an actual world championship. So Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu at a very, very, very high level for Virna Jandiroba. If we look at the UFC experience here, we see that Jandiroba has 4 fights. She's 2-2, while Kanako Murata just made her debut last year against Random Marcos. Cage time 38 minutes for Jandiroba, 15 for Murata. Average fight time 9.5 minutes for Jandiroba. And Murata's only UFC fight went to decision against Random Marcos. So if we look at the finish stats for these ladies, we see Kanako Murata with a 33% sub rate and a 17% knockout rate. So a total of 50% of her mixed martial arts wins are by finish. We've got 12 wins, so that would be 4 wins by submission and 2 wins by knockout. And we have got for Virna Jandiroba an 81% sub rate in her 16 wins. So that would be about 13. That's 13 wins by submission in her career. A lot of rear naked chokes, some R bars. She's got a triangle in there, and I think there's 1 or 2 other submissions that she's gotten. She can get a cornucopia of submissions. She is a wizard on the ground. And in the UFC, you can see that 100% of her UFC wins are by submission. When she wins, she finishes. Even in the Mackenzie Dern fight, with about 30 seconds left, she yells something to her corner, and Paul Felder said something. Well, what did she say? And Joe Rogan said, I think she just asked how much time is left. And as soon as her corner told her how much time there was left, there was about 30 seconds left in the fight, she actually pulled guard on Mackenzie Dern and started going for a leg lock to try to get that finish because it was a very close fight. So you gotta love Virna Jandiroba's. She's got a finishing instinct. She wants to finish fights. She's got that instinct that she goes after the win, and she doesn't want to let it go to the scorecards. You gotta love betting on a fighter like that. When we look at how these fighters have lost fights, we see Jandiroba has 2 career losses, and she has never been finished in either. So both of her career losses are by decision, and they both came in the UFC. And we've got Kanako Murata. In her 1 loss, it came by submission. So her only loss in her career, she was subbed. Let's go to the striking statistics for these 2 ladies. Now, let's pray to God that this isn't a striking match, because neither one of these 2 ladies is what I would call an exciting or credentialed striker or even fun to watch. Kanako Murata, when she's standing and throwing strikes, she throws from a distance. Nothing hits. She couldn't hit water if she fell out of a boat. And then as far as Jandiroba goes, her striking is very basic. She does throw kicks, knees, and punches. Her overhand right is something to really see. I mean, if you want to see the slowest overhand right in the UFC, check a Virna Jandiroba fight. You could time her overhand right on a sundial. I am not kidding you. It's really funny. Kanako Murata, in her 1 fight in the UFC against Random Marcos, racked up these numbers: 1.93 significant strikes landed per minute out of 2.87 for a stellar 67.44% striking accuracy. However, that doesn't mean that she could actually hit water if she fell out of a boat. All those strikes were landed on the ground for the most part. I mean, maybe 1 or 2 was landed standing, but this fight took place on the ground, and you can see if you go down to the grappling statistics here, you see her control time is 62.33%. So, I mean, obviously not much of that fight actually took place on the feet. Jandiroba, in her 4 UFC fights, is landing 2.39 significant strikes per minute out of 5.16 attempted. We've got a 46.43% striking accuracy, Neither one of these ladies has knocked anyone down, nor will they in the UFC. And we got no knockdowns per 15 minutes. Although Virna Jandiroba, I think, did break Mackenzie Dern's nose with a knee that landed pretty well. I mean, but it was a striking match against Dern for the most part, and it wasn't pretty. She got outstruck pretty clearly by Mackenzie Dern, who's not known for her striking. If we look at the defensive numbers here, we see the Kanako, she absorbed 1.93 significant strikes per minute out of 4.07 against Randa Marcos, while Virna Jandiroba has absorbed 3.08 significant strikes per minute out of 6.74 attempted for a 54% striking defense. Neither one of these ladies has been knocked down in the UFC, and neither one of them probably will, just because they're both grapplers first. So that's the most important statistic that we need to look at here. So let's get into these grappling statistics. Kanako Murata, 4 for 9 on her takedowns against Randa Marcos, 44% accuracy. She averages 4 takedowns per 15 minutes and 2 sub attempts, and gets 62.33% control time while yielding none. So that's dominant. Her wrestling is dominant. Her ability to be able to get the fight to the ground is dominant. Her top control is dominant. Against lower level fighters, she's been able to submit them fairly easily. However, I've also seen her get reversed. I've seen her in some deep arm bars. In one of her fights that I just recently watched in the Japanese promotion. Oh God, I forget what it's called now. It doesn't matter. It used to be Pride. Anyway, she took her opponent down and then immediately had her back taken. She just got sloppy. If she pulls that against Virna, she's going to be in a whole heap of trouble. Jandiroba's numbers: 8 of 15 in her 4 fights. So she averages about 3.75 takedown attempts per fight, and she's getting 8 in 4 fights, so about 2 per fight. 53.33% takedown percent. She's got 3.16 takedowns per 15 minutes and 1.97 submission attempts per 15 minutes. So you can tell that both of these ladies are getting the job done in terms of getting the fight to the ground and controlling their opponents. Virna has successfully defended 11 of 15 takedown attempts against her for a 73.33% takedown defense. She allows 1.58 takedowns per 15 minutes, and she has been controlled 22% of the time that she spent in the cage. It's important to give those statistics in with some context, okay? Virna Jandiroba has fought Mackenzie Dern, Felice Herrig, Mallory Martin, and Carla Esparza. So you see that Mackenzie Dern has a 6-1 record in the UFC, and Carla Esparza is 9-4 and just absolutely destroyed Yan Xiaonan and might be on her way to a title shot right now. So she has lost to 2 ladies who have a combined 15-5 record in the UFC. Very impressive fights. And if you look at how these fights went, they were close. Both of them went to decision. In the Dern fight, Virna landed 63 significant strikes and got a takedown, while Dern landed 82 and got no takedowns. So, and even the control time, Dern had the control time, or Virna had the control time advantage at 164 to 154. But Dern did get the better of the striking. And then if we look at the Carla Esparza fight right here, we can see that even though she lost the unanimous decision in her UFC debut to a very tough Carla Esparza, we see that Virna landed 17 of 37 of her significant strike attempts. She landed 64 total strikes, had 3 takedowns out of 9 attempts. She advanced position 5 times and reversed position twice on Carla Esparza. Carla had 25 of 51 strikes, 97 total, 4 of 10 on her takedown attempts. She advanced position 3 times and reversed position 1 time. It was a very close fight, and the control time advantage by about 100 seconds was Carla Esparza, but it's good to see that Virna is not going to, even if Kanako does get the fight to the ground, Virna can swim down there, and she can swim with the best. She can swim with the girl that's getting the next title shot here at strawweight in Carla Esparza, and she was never in any trouble. She was never in trouble of getting subbed, and as a matter of fact, she reversed position a couple of times, got up a couple other times. So I don't have any doubt that we can see, even if Murata gets takedowns, that Jandiroba should be challenging with submissions. She should probably be able to sweep her, even take her back. Let's look at the strength of schedule. We're not going to find out much about Kanako because she's only fought one fighter, and that's Randa Marcos, who has a 6-10 record in the UFC. So outside of her fight against Kanako Murata, she's 6-9. So with the 15 total fights and a .67 ratio, while we see Virna Jandiroba is fighting fighters who have a 2.22 win-to-loss ratio in the UFC. So a much better brand of competition at this juncture. Virna Jandiroba fighting Dern, who probably will be fighting for a title soon. Esparza, who probably has the next shot, and she's beaten veteran like Felice Herrig, who has a winning record in the UFC, and Mallory Martin. If we look at the wins, we see that the 1.75 ratio of wins to losses in Virna's wins, while it's only a .67 for Kanako Murata. Murata's win is over a more experienced competitor in Marcos than the wins that Jandiroba has gotten, but still a better win-loss record. And we see that Virna's losses, again, are a 2.6 ratio against 9 total fights, an average record of 6.5 and 2.5. She's only losing to the best competition. And I should have had this further over. My fat head was probably in the way, but you could see that it was a 1.75 ratio on Virna's wins, a 2.22 ratio with an average record of 5 and 2.25 on Virna's overall strength of schedule, and then a 2.6 over here for the last 5. So yeah, 6.5 and 2.5 average record of her opponents that beat her. So if we go to the last 5 here, we see Mackenzie Dern, Felice Herrig, Mallory Martin, Carla Esparza, and Janaisa Marandin. And we see a 3-2 record, all 3 wins by finish, both losses by decision. Virna is very tough. And then we see Kanako Murata with wins over Randa Marcos, Emily Ducote, Liana Perosin, Sarai Orozco, and Angela Magana. So Magana was a UFC fighter at one time. 5-0 in her last 5. We see 3 subs, and then a split decision 5-round win over Emily Ducote. She found herself in some bad positions there, but she definitely won that decision. It was a close fight though. I think this is going to be a step up. I think it's going to be a step up for Kanako. I think this is going to be a different breed of ground game that she's going to see here from the handsome Virna Jandiroba. And I am predicting that Virna Jandiroba is going to take advantage of one of those mistakes that Kanako, I've seen her make on the ground against less accomplished grapplers. And I think Virna might be taking Kanako's arm home with her. I am predicting Virna Jandiroba by sub. I also think that that's a great prop that I am going to be trying to find as soon as it comes out. I really think Jandiroba is going to be a step or 2 ahead on the ground. Kanako Murata's striking is not good enough to win even a striking match. With the horrible striking of Virna Jandiroba, I don't even think it's good enough to win a striking match against Jandiroba. So if Murata wants to win this fight, she's going to have to try to take it to the ground. And as soon as she does, she's going to be playing with fire, because Virna is just going to probably be a couple of steps ahead of her on the ground. I see Murata probably getting this thing to the ground, getting top position, working some ground and pound, and then I see a sweep coming or a submission attempt that causes a sweep. Virna's going to get on top and probably ground and pound her out, or take her arm home with her. She's got really slick submissions. I plan to see one of them. I'm going to be betting Jandiroba by sub. I hope this was helpful for you guys. If you like my videos, please leave a like. Please subscribe to my channel. I'm going to be doing at least 2 more fights this week, maybe 3. I do plan on doing Erosa and Choi. I think that's going to be a great fight. And I also want to do a breakdown of O'Neal Procopio. If you have any requests of fights that you want me to break down, please leave a comment in the comment section of the video. Like I say, the link to the matchup template, which you see here, will be available for free. Help yourself, download it, and use it to help you make some decisions. Until next time, I'm going to be signing off right now. Thank you for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you that takes the time to watch my videos, and there'll be more to come soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.